Assalamualaikum and good morning, distinguished colleagues and fellow researchers. Welcome to my presentation at the International Conference on Cross-Disciplinary Academic Research ICAR 2025. My name is Nurisha Muhammad and my other co-researchers are Anissa Ahmad Chamizi, Nurhanina A. Ghani and Mokhtar Muhammad from University Polytech Malaysia. Today, I'll be sharing our research on the influence of religious commitment and motivations to report towards whistleblowing among University Polytech Malaysia students. This study explores how personal values and intrinsic motivation shape ethical decision making in academic environments. This research addresses a critical issue in higher education, which to understand what drives students to report academic misconduct, and more importantly, how we can foster environments that encourage ethical behavior. Let me begin by setting the context for our research. The central questions driving our study is: why do some students report academic misconduct while others remain silent? This is not merely an academic curiosity. It is a pressing concern for educational institutions worldwide. So academic integrity forms the foundations of quality education. Yet misconduct often goes unreported due to various reasons. So our research investigates two key factors that may influence whistleblowing behavior. The first one is religious commitment, and the second one is motivations to report. So motivation to report, particularly examining how fear of retaliations impacts students' willingness to speak up. So what makes this study unique is our focus on Malaysian higher education context where religious values play a significant role in shaping moral decision making. Yet this influence has been underexplored in whistleblowing research. So we believe understanding this dynamic can help institutions create more effective policies and supportive environments for ethical reporting. These alarming statistics reveal a critical gap in our higher education systems. While 945 students were accused of academic misconduct between 2018 to 2024, how many cases were unreported? The University Malaya sexual harassment case is particularly telling. Allegations were not addressed by the institutions until police reports were filed externally. This suggests that internal whistleblowing mechanisms are failing students when they need them most. So our research directly addressed this crisis by investigating what drives students to report misconduct and what prevents them from doing so. We found that students with strong religious commitment are significantly more likely to intend to report misconduct, but only when they don't fear retaliations. So this means the rising cases we see may represent just the tip of the iceberg. If we can understand and strengthen the factors that encourage reporting, like religious values and institutional support, we might prevent many more cases from occurring in the first place. Given the recent surge in academic misconduct cases in Malaysia, this study addressed the urgent need to understand what motivates students to report wrongdoing and how institutions can better support ethical behavior. To conduct this complex relationship, we need a robust theoretical foundation. So our study is grounded in self-determination theory, or SDT, developed by Daisy and Ryan. So this theory emphasizes the role of intrinsic motivations and personal values in driving human behavior. While previous whistleblowing research has often relied on the theory of planned behavior, so we propose that SDT offers a more nuanced perspective, which one that accounts for internal motivations and deeply held values, particularly those rooted in religious belief. So SDT suggests that when individuals act in accordance with their authentic values and experience autonomy in their decisions, they are more likely to engage in pro-social behavior, such as reporting misconduct. So this theoretical lens allows us to explore how religious commitment as a core personal value system interacts with motivational factors to influence ethical decision making. Based on this theoretical framework, we develop specific objective and testable hypotheses. So our primary objective was to examine how religious commitment and motivations to report influence the intention to whistleblow among university students. We formulated two key hypotheses. The first one, we predicted that greater religious commitment would increase whistleblowing intention. Our reasoning is that religious individuals are more likely to act according to moral principles, even when facing potential social cost. Second, we hypothesized that higher intrinsic motivation, specifically characterized by lower fear of retaliation, would increase whistleblowing intention. When students feel safe and supported, they should be more willing to report misconduct. So this hypothesis allows us to test both the direct effects of personal values and the ethical behavior. Now, let me describe how we tested these hypotheses. We employed a quantitative cross-sectional survey designed to explore these relationships. Our study was conducted at University Polytechnic Malaysia, focusing specifically on accounting students across various levels of study. From a total population of 611 students, we collected 104 responses through an online questionnaire. Participations were entirely voluntary and anonymous, ensuring ethical compliance and encouraging honest responses. So our measurement instruments included 3 validated skills: religious commitments measured on a 7-point Likert scale, motivations to report assessed using a 4-point scales focusing on retaliations and social factors, and whistleblowing intention measures on 5-point scale examining likelihood to report various forms of misconduct. So I am pleased to report that all our instruments demonstrated strong reliability, with Cronbach alpha values exceeding 0.94 for all skills, which well above the conventional threshold of 0.7. So this robust methodological gives us confidence in the validity and reliability of our findings. Our analysis reveals some compelling and statistical significant results. The regression analysis strongly supported both of our hypotheses. Our model was statistically significant with an F value of 18.22 and a P value less than 0.001. Most importantly, both predictors contributed significantly to explaining whistleblowing intentions. Religious commitment showed a strong positive relationship with a beta coefficient of 0.431 and p-value less than 0.001. This means that students with stronger religious commitment were significantly more likely to intend to report misconduct. Motivation to report also showed a significant positive relationship with a beta of 0.228 and p-value of 0.010. So students who perceive lower risk of retaliations were more willing to report wrongdoing. Together, these two factors explain 26.5% of the variance in whistleblowing intentions, a substantial proportion for behavioral research. Interestingly, we found that despite moderate concern about social consequences, students' overall intention to whistleblow remained relatively high. This suggests that strong internal values can overcome external barriers. The variance inflation factors were all above 1.05, indicating the multicollinearity concerns in our model. Okay, now what do these findings mean for theory and practice? So, our results provide several important insights. First, they demonstrate that intrinsic value and religiosity play a substantial role in fostering ethical behavior among students. This suggests that character development and value educations should be integral components of higher educations. Second, while fear of retaliations remain an important barrier, it is not unsurmountable for students with strong religious commitments. This highlights the protective role that personal values can play in ethical decision making. From a theoretical perspective, our results strongly support integrating self-determination theory with religious commitment as a framework for understanding academic misconduct preventions. For policymakers and academic leaders, our findings emphasize the critical importance of creating ethical supporting environments. This includes establishing clear, safe reporting channels, protecting whistleblowers from retaliations, and fostering a culture where integrity is valued and rewarded. Universities should consider developing ethics education programs that helps students connect their personal values with professional responsibilities and create institutional climates that support rather than punish ethical behavior. Let me summarize our key contributions and outline our future directions. Our study makes three primary contributions. First, we have demonstrated that religious commitment and motivation significantly predict whistleblowing intentions among Malaysian university students. This provides empirical support for the role of personal values in ethical decision making. Second, we have shown that institutions can make a difference by creating supportive, ethical climate that reduce fear of retaliations. Third, we have contributed to theory by successfully integrating self-determination theory with religiosity to explain the ethical behavior. Now, looking ahead, several research directions emerge. So, we need studies with larger multi-institutional samples across diverse cultural contexts. Future research should include additional variables such as personal moral identity and organizational support mechanism. Longitudinal design could track how attitudes change over time, and we need to explore the effectiveness of ethics education programs informed by SDT principles. While our study is limited to a single institution and specific cohort, it opens important avenues for understanding and promoting ethical behavior in higher education. Thank you for your attention. I hope our research contributes to the important conversations about fostering ethical cultures in higher education. I want to acknowledge my co-researchers once again, Sanisa, Nohanina and Mokhtar, for their invaluable contributions to this study. I am now happy to take your questions and engage in discussion. Please feel free to contact me at initial@uptm.edu.my for any follow-up conversations. Thank you.